what's being doable back here with Ace Attorney Duel Destinies. No waiting, only game.
A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant Solomon Starbuck not guilty.
Woo! For now, this court finds the defendant not guilty is the least convincing Ace Attorney thing that has ever been said. Even Phoenix is like, I don't believe this. This seems so dreadfully unlikely. Yes! We did it, Mr. Wright!
Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright.
I mean, we didn't even know whose fingerprints they actually are. I feel like this can't... I thought the whole point was that these never ended until we found the other culprit. And even if it was proved that this person was innocent, they would just be executed by default if we didn't find someone else to execute.
Mr. Wright, Miss Cykes, thank you. And please thank Apollo for me, too. You all are the best.
I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now!
Yeah, me too. But that's gonna have to wait. Until he gets out of the hospital. Now that the verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Very well. To next day, then. Objection! Of course there is.
Put your confetti back on the ceiling, goddammit!
It's too late to object, isn't it?
It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong.
Well, Blackwell, in a court of evidence, law is everything.
Prosecutor Blackwell,
are you, dissatisfied with the verdict?
Fulbright, what were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? No question mark.
This is a statement, not a question. Inconclusive, I bet. Otherwise they would have told us they didn't kill her already. Huh? The results? Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was this cat fight. I kind of got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck's. So,
you have yet to read it?
Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to?
My bird can. Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints... It's gonna say aura, isn't it? Were found to belong to Athena Cykes.
No. No.
So says the report.
What? What? Huh? Me? No. Oh god, this is gonna give Athena some real big flashback problems. Oh, poor Athena. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this. Order, I say! Order! Miss Cykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion. I don't know how they got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit. Well, excellent defense, Miss Lawyer, but I'm afraid we need to do a little better than that.
This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece. I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this?
Hey, it has Athena's prints on it in the victim's blood. Right, but we know that the police were, like, tipped off on this and that they had prints, and Fulbright specifically said they were super thorough and had prints for everyone even remotely related. That means they probably had Apollo's prints, Clay's prints, anyone could plant if the police were involved in this, they could plant prints wherever. And furthermore, the prints are on the victim's blood. What about on the metal, as in whoever was holding it before Taryn was stabbed? Don't panic, Phoenix and Athena. There's a lot stupid about this already. God! What have I done? Please forgive me! I'm sorry! No, you were just saying what the evidence shows. That's not a problem. Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying!
What in the world is happening here?
It's like the world's gone mad. This sounds like a clear message to me. Someone's angry we're snooping around. Order! Order! I will have order! Not soon, you won't. Poor Fulbright and his socksless shoes. Yeah, but what the hell? So someone on the police has a vendetta against Cykes? Why?
Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We'd stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness.
Oh, is that where this case ends? And now, and now, we go to the next case, which is Defend Athena. Episode 5, Turnabout for Tomorrow. Oh, wow. I didn't really suppose that that would be the end of that case. I thought that absolving Athena was going to be part of... sorry, no one can escape their past. I don't get to choose how long this goes, so... Okay, we're back to Athena's old flashback. I imagined it had to come back to this, and this has to tie Blackwell's whole thing together. And if Athena testified for Blackwell's favor and against the real killer in that old time, that would explain why someone had a vendetta against her. Maybe. The sins we've committed, and the sadness we've caused. A clean blade. Someone Blackwell adjacent swinging it. Blade, blade, blade. Lots of blood. More blood. Sorry, I'm getting my mouse off the screen. No matter how far we run, our past remains. As ever-present as the moon in the sky. Get it? Because Athena wears moon earrings and a moon necklace when she was a kid. Athena's important in this. Here's back to Apollo. When everything went splody. Oh, right, and moon also because space is a big motif here. Oh, now we're in actually 3D model territory. We're in the destroyed courtroom. It looms in wait for the day when we're forced to face it. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on in hope towards tomorrow. I tend to agree. So is there going to be no investigation for this case? Or is it going to be a whole other case where we go back to the station and investigate more? Or is it going to be like a just courtroom case? No, we're at the Wright Anything Agency, so I guess not. Interesting. So like I said, I've got a whole bunch of theories swirling. My theory that the one that Athena is been trying to save this whole time is Blackwell. I think it's still a possibility. And we know that there was one astronaut pictured in that photograph of the old team that wasn't present now. So I'm sort of supposing they were the victim in that case, and that Blackwell got wrongfully convicted. And that's why he's been working his way back up as a prosecutor to try and eventually track down that Phantom who killed them the first time. And my guess is that Athena's trying to save Blackwell because she was just too young to do anything at that time, and she testified in his favor, but no one listened. Hence the whole scene at the beginning where everyone's faces were all like blotted out with ink and stuff, and if the original killer is now seeing that Athena is back on the case, and they know how vehement she was in Blackwell's defense, they're probably worried that she's gonna find that it was them this time and work out that it was them the first time and get Blackwell acquitted, and then that will be bad for them, so they're trying to nip Athena in the bud and get her sent to prison as well. And or executed. I don't know why. I feel like they're always up and down with whether or not they execute people in this universe. They're like, you committed a murder, you're being executed. Or it's like, you're committed murder, prison for life. I don't know. I guess it's not in real life. Sometimes it's not all that cut and dry. But it just feels like sometimes they're very fast and loose with executions in this universe. December 20th, 1:23 p.m. Wright Anything Agency. They took Athena from the courtroom straight to the station. What? Whoa. Oh, I guess because court was already adjourned that day. That makes sense. So it was officially an out-of-court arrest, I guess, or whatever. Damn. She's probably being questioned at this very moment. Come on, Polly! We gotta do something! Oh no, Apollo can't. He's gravely injured. I gotta do something! Trucy, please come with me! After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. But one of them got blowed up and the other one's maybe gonna be executed. But now Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. Oh yeah, he's not even with us anymore, Dedoy. My pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Some boss I turned out to be. It's even quieter here than usual. Yeah, it seems so empty too. I just don't get it, Daddy. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, I still believe it was. At least based on what we know. But now, Athena's the one who's being accused. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. This is just a recap, I guess. The lighter used by the real culprit was found. This lighter proved the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, innocent.
But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder.
I think it's very pertinent to me that, I mean, Fulbright made a big show earlier of being all like, the police were super thorough and have everyone's prints on file. And now we know, and we also know that the police were like, you know, tipped off that there would be a bombing because they had a bomb squad there. And Fulbright was all, you know, oh, what do I do here? Because, and it's because the police were like culpable somehow in this, or at least one member. I mean, 10-8 was a police bomb diffuser specialist, wasn't he? Also, what kind of evidence do I have? Okay, we still have a fair bit of the evidence from last time. Actually, all of it, more or less. Profiles as well.
But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense.
No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Where's the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case?
You know, Daddy, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right, Daddy?
Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. Trucy's right. The trial's tomorrow. There's no time to waste. If I'm going to prove Athena's innocence, I better get out there and find some evidence.
Off we go, then. We're on a hunt for evidence that'll prove Athena's innocence.
Yay, do we get Trucy with us? Oh, that'll be so cool. Great. But before we go, I better tidy up the evidence I have on hand. Oh, he's going to get rid of some of it. Unnecessary evidence left at the office. Oh, we only backed down to 2 pages now. We got rid of 5 of them. I don't remember which 5, but who cares? Oh, and profiles? Have we gotten rid of any of them? No. One thing I totally love about this series, and that they do constantly, is that there's always like it's never just one of them who's like, I don't want to use the word encouraging the others, because it just sounds kind of, it's sort of imprecise to what I'm trying to say. But like, you know, like, motivating them and sort of getting them back on their feet. They're always all doing it for each other. And it makes the relationships feel kind of real in that way. Especially when you consider that, like, a lot of these relationships were not, like, we've been best friends since childhood kind of thing. Like, there are some of them that are that way, but a lot of them are friendships and like, even father-daughter relationships that happened purely out of circumstance. Like, one of my, I think that's part of the reason Maya and Phoenix's relationship is so, what's the word? Well, I guess just, like, wholesome and like, engaging and like believable is because you see every aspect of their like how their friendship forms and like how they both meet each other in like one of the worst places of their life basically, and they just have no choice but to support each other through it. And I think and Trucy and Phoenix is much the same way. Like when they met, her father had just been murdered and Phoenix had just been disbarred after being an attorney. Being an attorney had been like the only thing his life had been about for like 8 or 9 years up to that point or whatever. And now he's got to take care of like a kid, and he doesn't know how to do that. He's like 26 or however old he was at that point. But the fact that they were both so like in desperate need of like emotional support at that point, and they just had to be there for each other, made us that they have a really good relationship now, and it's very sweet, and you buy it. I never like, if you had told me at the beginning of the series that Phoenix was going to adopt the kid of someone who got murdered, I would have been like, that's the stupidest plot point ever. But because we see it unfold and we believe their emotions, like I totally buy it that they're father and daughter. Athena's probably still in the middle of being questioned. So Trucy's right. The thing to start with is talking to people at the Space Center. Let's! Trucy, before we go any further here, there's a secret I've kept about myself for all these long years, and it's that I'm secretly a lawyer.
I guess presenting your attorney's badge.
Is your... Oh, quick, we already had this one. Let me just verify that she didn't have anything to say about all this other stuff.
Space, huh? I'd sure love to go up there someday. Will you take me, Daddy?
It's not like taking somebody to an amusement park, you know?
Well, you hardly ever take me to one of those, either. You either say, I don't have any money, or I don't have time.
Fine, I'll take you on my next day off.
You're the best, Daddy.
I'm no match for Trucy.
Before we head out, Trucy, what do we do? I'm so scared. I still can't believe Apollo really left us.
It was so sudden.
Maybe he got tired of being my assistant for my magic tricks.
I don't think it's your fault, Trucy.
But I made him clean the toilet a lot. And I made him go bring in the newspaper. It was my fault. Oh, I just know it. Oh, Apollo.
I really don't think it was your fault, Trucy. But I didn't realize Apollo was wearing so many hats around here either.
How could they suspect Athena? It's just ridiculous. It must be some kind of conspiracy.
A conspiracy, huh? Well, it certainly is some kind of mistake, that's for sure.
First of all, we have to bust Athena out of the detention center. Then, we have to chase down the people who framed her. We'll sneak around the world from Kiev to Carolina, with the hot fuzz on our tails.
Isn't that exactly the same as the plot of the movie you watched the other day?
No, I don't watch movies.
You must be mistaken. So as Trucy says, we'll not head to the detention center just yet, as she's still being questioned. We'll head to the December 20th Cosmos Space Center entrance. Where are we going to run to here? Yuri Cosmos! Hello! Oh, I love doing his voice. Director Cosmos, do you have a minute?
Galactic scooter, full speed ahead. Sayonara, peasants.
Director! He scooted away. His expression changed the instant he saw you, Daddy. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. I thought there were always birds tweeting whenever there's no music playing. To the boarding lounge! December 20th, Cosmos Space Center boarding lounge. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey! Mr. Starbuck! You've been released, huh? Yep, and I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You've given me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... What's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. Well, he's pretty sad that Athena took his place, I imagine. As I was coming out of the detention center, I saw Miss Cykes. He saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then, you know what? She flashed a peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Yeah, that sounds like Athena. You can just picture it. Like, full arm of peace sign as well. But I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. She's gotta be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. There's no question about it. That girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they can put me in prison instead. I don't mind. We can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm going to give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted, just like I did for you. I know she'll be alright with you in her corner. I know you'll never give up on her. Hey, think about it this way. All the mistakes I made in your case don't matter anymore. Our health is back at full. Apollo has a fine boss to look up to. Oh, that means so much to him because he was just saying earlier, he's all like, oh, I wish I could be like Starbuck was for Apollo and Clay. I feel, given, in light of recent events, I should prove to you I actually am a lawyer and I wasn't just bullshitting my way through that whole thing. Do you know anything about this piece of evidence? No. Sorry, I'm so useless. No, it's alright. There's no need to get all depressed. I think maybe that's the same as it was all before. Very well. I won't spend all that time. Let's just chat with him. About the murder! I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I don't have the foggiest idea. So there never was gonna be a launch that day. Not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. Probably not, right? I imagine he must have. Why? Oh, because he went as far as the Space Museum? And why would he have done that if he believed it was actually a normal launch? I guess that makes sense. Surely he would have noticed when you went to the board of the rocket. Right, okay, totally. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. Well, I guess that's about how it goes when you're worth less than space debris. Is he going to be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. Well, that's just how he is. The murderer! It's different than about the murder because it's about the murderer! Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. I still just... This is such nonsense that you could see the face of the body on the floor, but not the face of the person holding the lighter. No one's arms are that long! Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police, though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down that trash chute. Oh. Just as I thought, the culprit must have carried away with them when they escaped. So, who was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck? I couldn't really tell. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if the person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see. The door. Yes. This one over here. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now?
Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. Oh yeah, good point. Maybe there's something different about it if the hallway goes from this door. Like maybe the wiring that runs to it is somehow different or weird or some weirdness. I guess the wiring would have to run underground, right? Because how else would... Or maybe the place just... Maybe it just doesn't have power while it's switching. How else would you power something that can pivot around like a good 400-meter radius or whatever it is? Or, you know, circumference, whatever. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure. Just let me have my print scanned here. Woohoo! So fancy schmancy. Switching the launch pads. Do the launch pads get switched back and forth a lot? Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Alright. Because, quite frankly, this Space Center needs the money. I hear you. Times sure are tough.
Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door.
Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around.
Please! But also, this... Well, huh? Leaf! I don't know what the significance of that is, but leaf!
Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. I mean, it is December, so that would be expected that there would be some.
Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. There are lots of trees around the Space Center.
There was something much like that in, the Kataki's case in Ace 24, right? Yeah.
So Trucy would remember all about that.
She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. But I don't know, if they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes, wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on.
Oh, is there any chance that... Surely while the thing is moving, the doors aren't open, right? What this suggests to us is that there was some other means of ingress that someone escaped into the trees and stuff, and that's why we didn't find the gun, you know, somewhere, and the killer was able to escape somehow that we didn't expect, maybe. I do have a lot of questions about how these hallways work. If they are powered from underneath, because it would be... I think maybe even pushing the bounds of the sci-fi to imagine that the power, it plugs into the whole building whenever it gets turned all the way around. And that's how this hallway gets power, this hallway and the entire launch pad. Which suggests that if it still had power while it was being rotated, maybe you could still use this scanner and open the door and jump out mid-rotation or something.
Wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on.
Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor and they came in that way.
Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know.
But I think it's a good question. What other means of outgress from this building or from this hallway are there?
So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh?
Yeah. I don't know whose voice that was.
Yeah, but this one doesn't require fingerprint verification.
Oh.
You just hit the button and open sesame.
So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either?
That's right, Trucy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints. And no one needed to take off their glove when they escaped back out of the Space Museum corridor into Boarding Lounge 2.
Right. Oh, is that only because this is the hallway that goes to the Space Museum? No, because it says specifically authentication isn't required from the launch pad side of either door, I guess, of either hallway. Well, it wouldn't be required from the museum side of the museum because visitors are going there. Interesting.
I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor.
Well, we should not imagine that. We should go verify that. Thanks, Solomon. Anything you can tell me about this? No, guess not. That's all right. Off we go then. I suppose we better, oh, well, actually, I don't see much else to do here. Is there gonna be someone else in the entrance, or have we spent enough time investigating here that perhaps Athena will be released? Oh, talk to Space Center staff is all it says. So, off we go to the entrance to see if we can run into anyone else. December 20th, Cosmos Space Center entrance.
Oh, curse the wretched ferry, my grib! Because this course is supposed to be the way!
Director Cosmos, wait. I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that!
My business has been compromised!
Trucy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. Jesus, man! And the streak continues. I don't think you should be throwing knives in a place that's crawling with police. The streak continues.
Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing.
Goddamn, dude.
My dear old battleship, we fought many skirmishes together. It has been an honor.
Daddy, he's gonna blow that thing up.
Nah, I bet all that button will do is make it go haywire again.
Very well. I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably.
I'm a lawyer. Excuse me, but about this piece of evidence.
Let me ask you.
No. Okay, we've seen it already.
Let's just chat then. Switching the launch pads! Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, I'm so excited that we're on the last case, by the way, already. I didn't think we'd be here this quick. I thought there was, like, a fair bit more of that, that day 2 trial to go for, Starbucks case. I thought it was weird because it seemed like the Space Center had to be the ultimate point where everything came together, so I was like, how could there possibly be a case past this that takes place somewhere else? But it makes a lot of sense that it's sort of a part 2 case that also takes place in the Space Center. But now it's bringing everything to a head by, we have to defend Athena. You used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with.
Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent, but I will say my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Perhaps, now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner.
Oh, lies! Lies!
Many lies. Big lies. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo his psyche locks if I want to get to the bottom of this.
Do we have the evidence to do so? That we do. Take that!
Behind the switching of the launch pads. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the 2 launch pads.
I refuse! You can't make me! I can hold out no good to anyone!
I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now let's see, where to start.
This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it to fool the bomber to prevent the bombing to save the astronauts. He said that thanks to your switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket, far away from the actual explosion.
My astronauts were ready to go out on an authentic adventure to space. How do you suppose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing?
I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off.
Right, this is why Phoenix earlier was like, I assumed Terran had to know, because otherwise he would have turned around immediately. Take that! You must have gotten Mr. Terran to help you. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum.
Someone please help this poor prisoner!
I don't remember them actually, like, so confidently saying it was... I thought at some point they said they didn't find the drugs in the system. No, I'm mixing it up with something else, clearly. Very good, so we're pretty confident now that Terran slipped in the medication. Someone did actually, in fact, drug him up in a big way. How was he able to spin around like that? I thought he just broke the wheel on that thing. If you really wanted to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch?
If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble?
No, that's why I want to know why you couldn't have done it.
I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident?
Well, that's because... I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure the astronauts' safety.
And we're under the impression that the police were apprised about this event as well. I only just noticed that his cap hangs down in front of his other eye as though it's an eye patch, even though it isn't.
But it was just a warning. It could even have been a prank. Why did you believe in it so completely?
Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone was talking about these days.
Oh? I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone.
Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see.
AKA a regular old telephone.
It's been a while. Planning another launch? I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber
said it's been a while, suggesting it's the same one as before, and that was enough to make you take the threat seriously. Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before.
Did we not know that? I sort of guessed that, I guess. I don't think they ever said it, I guess.
Maybe the culprit in the current case is the same person as who was involved in this incident.
In this incident, the courtroom number 4 bombing, the Hat 1 miracle, the Hat 2 bombing. Well, the Hat 2 bombing is this incident, so the courtroom... I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was someone also involved with the Hat 1 miracle, but courtroom number 4 bombing was involved with the Space Center case, so I think that makes sense. I think? It was the courtroom bombing, wasn't it? That's when you were dealt a major blow.
Do you really think blowing up a courtroom would have shaken the center of the cosmos?
I guess I got it wrong.
The director felt personally threatened, so it has to be something more relevant to him.
Right, but okay, but we already know that the culprit is the bomber. We already said that.
The Hat 2 bombing. That must be the answer to your secret lies.
All hands, ready for the Galactic Schooner's main turret. Teach this blockhead what a precision shot is all about.
You got me. I guess I was way off. Oh, sorry, okay. The Hat One miracle was because of a bunch of bad stuff and went down. I thought he was saying that the person who bombed the Space Center this time was Starbuck, who was the one who made it out of the Hat One miracle. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But he's saying that all the problems with the Hat One is probably involved the same person. The Hat One miracle, that epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by a current killer, wasn't it? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said, "It's been a while," you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real and it wasn't a prank. I thought what they were getting at was that the person I suspect to be dead, who the other astronaut in the photograph that we haven't seen anything of yet, was killed in like a bombing elsewhere somehow. Or maybe they were part of this Hat One thing and they were also in the same... No, but Solomon said he was all alone. Anyway, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real and it wasn't a prank.
Did anyone tell you to go easy on the next serviceman?
Well, I mean... Focus up.
Yes, the Hat One miracle was really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage.
I hadn't worked that out myself.
I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight.
There it is. Sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat One miracle.
I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught and that the case was closed.
Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit, Blackwell.
Take that!
Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, he got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Did you recognize the voice, by perchance? Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit's been running free all this time.
How do you keep saying straight with me?
Well, it took me a few guesses on that last one. For the one before this, but... Other than that, I just try to pay attention to people's feelings and stuff, you know, and I took, some years of law school. Anyway, switching to launch pads! The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat One miracle. The sabotage and the murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding.
If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch to launch pads, you'll have to wait until next time on his you of Destinies, because that's all the time we have for this blasted episode. God damn it.
Yes, indeed, that is all for now, but was not expecting us to be in the last case yet, nor for it to take this sudden, sharp turn into being like, by the way, Blackwell didn't do it last time. Like, already we're getting so much useful information that we've got here. And we're hanging out with Trucy too, which is super cool. Oh, I can already tell this is going to heat up into a most funkalicious kind of case. There's a lot of stuff that's very interesting in that boarding lounge one that is, I presume, are red herrings, at least most of them. Or at least, rather, I don't think all of them have to be nothing, but the remote control holographic screen, the gyro seat at the top of the room, the, like, oxygen, rejuvenating canisters, whatever they called them, the capsules that you lie in, the footprint in the moon dirt. I suspect that one of those will come into play before the end of this, but I don't expect any more than one. 1 or 0, I imagine, of those will come into play. Because they stuck out like sore thumbs when we were first in there. It was like, a capsule, this could be an amazing hiding place. The gyro chair, this probably has something... Well, no, the gyro chair maybe less so. But, and the footprint is probably just decoration. But it seemed pertinent when I first saw it. Anyway, I feel like there's still something important about the crime scene that we've yet to examine here. Although they just kind of blow through the trash chute. Well, we looked in the trash chute, there wasn't a gun here. And I thought that I was like the only one who was thinking about the trash chute this whole time. So I was starting to get weirded out about that. But I think maybe they're just saying now that... it wasn't really a viable escape route, but then why would they even include it? As game designers, designing a mystery game, you would have just not put that there, and then later been like, looks like the killer must have took the gun with them because there was no one else to discard it. Why would you add the trash chute and just say it wasn't in there? Maybe I shouldn't discount the trash chute theory just yet. Anyway, all that and more next time on Starting Dual Destinies. If your next video going on the channel is going to be some more Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which is a rip-snorting good time. And next time here, depending on how far we get into this investigation, it might be that since we already have like a heck of a lot of details on this because it's a continuation of the last case, the investigation section isn't actually going to be terribly long, which would be kind of exciting, but we shall see. I mean, Aura's looking sketchier by the second here, right? Terran's dead. Starbuck was...
high off his ass. Candace is dead. Cosmos was the one who swapped the rooms, and Aura has an army of robots who she could program to kill someone without her even being there, so that she could be like, oh, I was climbing down the outside when all the murder went down. One of whom we know even has a bit of a bloodthirsty thing against humans. Doesn't Klonko have like an alternate personality where they're all like, robots shall rule the world? Anyway, I'm just very excited to see how this pans out because it looks like it's going to be a silly and very fun case, this one. As well as very high stakes. This is the Ace Attorney sweet spot, really. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I will see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace!
Oh, hey, mister. Are you what they call a traveler? Your weapon's really neat. Every Wanderer has amazing gear. It's true. I love swords and bows and arrows and all that stuff. I'll be my friend, mister.
On account of the weaponry I'm carrying? I never did finish your quest in Breath of the Wild. Sorry about that.
We're spies for Azum. He's a hero who protects our village.